What's going on YouTube? This is Kev the Barber with another classic, and you're at the Barber's Table. As you've probably already guessed, there will not be a Barber's Journey episode. Today, I'll just be doing a tutorial. For those of you who are not acquainted with the Barber's Journey, it is a series where I document my days going through cosmetology school. I think it's pretty dope. Check it out if you haven't. Go to the playlist and you'll see the Barber's Journey. Let me know what you guys think about it. This is what the haircut's going to be looking like. This is a skin fade, very detailed instructions. I'm going to show you slightly a new way that I don't think I've showed you guys before. Let's get right into it. When putting on the neck strip, you want to make sure that you don't cover the client's face. It's the correct way to put it on. Same for the cape. Neck strips, the purpose for a neck strip is to make sure that there's a barrier between the skin and the cape, so there's, sanitation. Make sure you brush the hair as well. You need to have a clean canvas so your fades are clean and accurate. I start off my line of demarcation with the lever closed, not all the way, to give me some space so I can just fade it out if I wanted to. I don't want to overcommit. And what I do is I do the line of demarcation on one side and connect it with the other side, just like that, to make an even and nice fade. If you start clean, you'll finish clean. Now, it's very important that you start with cutting the hair to the desired level, so that you're fading to a desired level rather than fading up to an unknown level. You want to be able to see where you're going. It really helps out in the long run. I've started some fades without the desired level first, and it's a hassle. Your cut will be a lot longer than you want it to. I'm doing it with the grain so that the hairs will lay down, and it's a really nice and clean cut. I'm brushing the hair in between my cut so that I can see the natural fall of the hair rather than having to go against the grain. Even though his hair is coarse, it's not as dense. So coarse is basically how thick each hair is. Density is how much hair grows per square inch or so, just the amount of hairs that grow. And coarse is just the hair is thick. So I'm trying to be very gentle, very intentional, and knowing where the hair is falling, make sure I'm following that. And here's a very, very important tip, very important. For receding hairlines, you want to make sure that you cut it very strategically. If you can see, I outlined for you guys the dark spots, and if you look at the front of his forehead, it's a little lighter than the back. So what you want to do is just cut down the dark as if it's the side, like cut it down with a lower level and then go higher for the less dense areas, so that it can give an illusion of darkness. And I'm making sure I'm going over and over again so that the cut is nice and even and nice and clean. Here I take out my one guard and close it to see if it cuts anything. It doesn't really do anything. Then I bring out my half guard and put it all the way open and see what it's cutting, and then kind of bring it down a little bit to bring it to the rest of the hair length and see what happens. This is all just feeling out, to make sure, see how his hair reacts to what I'm doing. It's best always to take it slow. You don't want to overdo anything, because then you can't put hair back on somebody's head. So the way I conceptualize my fades is I'm sketching hair, you know what I'm saying? This is me cutting the frilly hairs, or the hairs that are standing up. This is also a good way to cut hair without taking away density. Now to start our first guideline. Few objectives here. I keep the front line dark, so I make sure that there's a sharp line. I'm keeping a line below, like where the line of demarcation is, so I don't lose my place. I'm flicking out at the end of the second line that I'm trying to create, because it allows for the next steps to be easier. It allows the fades to be much more effortless. And if you see on the side right there, I'm not really creating the arch of the line. I'm flicking it out. It's subtle, but it's definitely there. Next on the line of objectives, this would be my third guideline. I'm taking my one guard, closing it, because the top is about a 1 at this moment. And so closing the 1 would create that same feel. And I'm just creating the little dark line right there that you're seeing to just give my canvas just the outline that I use to fade it out. Now these are where your guidelines are amazing. You just put your lever on half and keep it in the middle of those guidelines. Don't go too close to the top, don't go too close to the bottom. Just keep it straight there in the middle, and you keep cutting, and it's very, very easy to do visually. There's literally nothing else you have to do. You just continue to do that, and when you open up the lever, you go closer to the top. When you close it, you go closer to the bottom. My goal is to take out the bottom line with a closed magic clip, and then I kind of tether it later with an edger. Same exact idea applies for the rest of the head. Next step is, of course, you got to keep brushing. Take out your half guard, put it halfway, and we are just taking out this line little by little, probably going up about half an inch or so. Now this is a technique I've been doing this entire video, but I'm zooming in at this moment for you guys to really see it. Feathering. This is an idea that took me a lot of time to learn. It's using the corner of the blade to lightly cut hair, and I'm gonna switch to a different angle so you can really see that work being done. Now you look at the corner of the blade, it's just tapping it just like that, probably using 2 to 3 blades, and just making sure that I'm not taking away too much. And if I want any more to go, I either close it a little bit or put the blade flat down. And it's really a great way to cut, not fully commit, and really just fade perfectly. I do this every single time I cut hair. And I'm coming back in with the half just to make sure it's blending a little more to the top. This is before and after of feathering. You can really see the difference. I still need to do a little bit more work on the front hairline though. It's a little blotchy. And I extremely apologize. A lot of you astute watchers are probably waiting for me to take out the bulk hair at the bottom. The camera was not recording. I was extremely sick. But I'm just feathering into the hair just like that before. And now I'm taking away the darkness I don't want on the front of the hairline. I don't want it to look too fake or weird. So here I'm just kind of feathering. Like, feathering is used everywhere. I'm just feathering with the half guard, switching between the half and the no guard. Here is just a general transition down to the beard, starting close and opening up down to the bottom. He also wanted the side of his beard faded in a bit because the corner of his mouths are kind of patchy, so if you fade it a little bit, then it kind of masks that as well. So that's a little tip. As I said before, I look at cutting as sketching. I'm not an aggressive hair cutter, so these blades aren't sharp at all. I can really go over people's faces with this frequently. This is just to do just a basic overview. See, that didn't really do much, just a basic overview of the face so that I can really see what I'm going to be doing when I take out the blades. Clean up the neck, make sure you always do that. It makes a huge difference. I know whenever I mention something, I say it's important, but this one really is. Turn the blade this way and you avoid the nose, and it doesn't make people uncomfortable.
Silky beat.
Now we get to the juicy part. This has to be one of my favorite parts of a haircut. the hairline. Now as you can see, the density here is not that great, so I do a little bit of touch-up work in the dark areas. Start in the middle, always start in the middle, especially if you are a beginner. Do not, if you see the lack of density there and how I'm not even going further back is always the worst thing to do. Start far away and move backwards as you go. I'm really liking the way this is looking initially, so I don't really care to put that back. The density cannot be brought back unless you use fibers or something like that, so do not trip about the density. The client more than likely doesn't want you pushing back that hairline in the first place. I know the hairline warriors are going to come for me for this one, how it's leaning a little bit further back on the right or whatever, but it looked like that on the camera. I did not get the touch-up on camera, so I fixed that, just so you guys know. Still gonna get a comment on it, but just so everybody who watches and wants to learn understands. Also, pay very close attention to those corners. That's the only way you get it sharp. I go over, I go on top, pull back, then go closer and just go at different angles, use the corner of the blade, and I always try and get that corner sharp as possible. That's really what makes a difference in a hairline. I know I did a whole lot of talking on this, but for this I'm just gonna put on some shave gel. This is Tomb 45, and keep your blade flat and just watch away. Before you guys go, I have to show you this product. This product was sent to me by Tropix. You can find them on Instagram at Tropix. So I'm still getting acquainted with this product. I've used it about 2 or 3 times, and it's proven itself to be pretty decent. I haven't seen super changes yet, but if you look at their Instagram page, they have a bunch of tell-all stories, and it's pretty dope. I just put this on here because I used a shaver to take off his bulk. So just to prevent any bumps or anything, I just use this on my clients. I have about 10 of these. I'll be giving away 3. So let me know down in the bottom why I should give it to you. Thanks again for watching. See you guys in the next video. Please check out the barber's journey and let me know what you guys think. Thanks.